ClassicGameRoom.com. It's Classic Game Room time, where I'm bringing the review of Tekken into your eyeballs right now. Feel the Tekken, feel it! Every series has a beginning. This is the first Tekken from 1995 on the original gray Sony PlayStation, back before it even needed a number. Tekken, and the PlayStation for that matter. What is wrong with Nina's face? And Law looks like he needs more fiber in his diet. Wow, what this game needs is some sequels.
You win.
The first Tekken reminds me a lot of the first Virtua Fighter. They're very similar. Straightforward fighting with really goofy winning scenes. Law, you need to get it together, man. It's hard to play this now and not think how rudimentary it is, but Tekken was always ahead of the curve on the original PlayStation. The first Tekken that I picked up was Tekken 2 back in the day. Tekken 1 feels comparatively disappointing, but this is the first one. And it's pretty sharp for a 1995 PlayStation release. Namco was putting out some good early games like Tekken and Ridge Racer. This is back in the mid-90s when games like Street Fighter II and Mortal Kombat were blowing up, but Tekken's main competitor is Virtua Fighter, or at least it was back then. The two series started off remarkably similar and then went off on their own completely different paths since then. Not surprisingly, I'm awful at Tekken, but like Virtua Fighter, it's the kind of game where you need to know your moves and button combos or you will not survive. You cannot get through Tekken by button mashing. This isn't Street Fighter. You're not going to magically pull some fireballs out of your ass. You've actually got to play some offense and defense. It's a really straightforward, honest fighting game. Back before they all tried to outdo each other with complete nonsense. If you're looking to play an old-school Tekken game for the first time on the PlayStation, or PlayStation 3, which is what I'm using here to record this, I'd probably start with Tekken 3, but the first one is the first one. It's maybe collectible, but certainly not rare. There's a lot of them out there. But if you remember the early crop of PlayStation games, a lot of them were pretty rough. Tekken, on the other hand, is solid. I'm gonna give a Classic Game Room shout out and thank you to Isaiah from Sacramento, California for sending the original very first Tekken video game to the show. It's easy to forget how impressive these were back in the day, bringing arcade quality performance into your home video game system. And it even starts with Galaga during the intro screen. What's not to like about that? Thanks again to Isaiah for sending it to the show. What's taking me so long to review Tekken? The jokes are just awesome.
You win.
There's also two-player gameplay and no online multiplayer. What do you think this is, the Dreamcast? No, it's the first Tekken on the PlayStation. Highly recommended in 1995.
You lose. You lose. Continue. 6. Game over.